I'm back in the Rovio Lounge and I've just bumped into Alan Rusbridger from The Guardian. Hello. And I was wondering if you could tell us, why is it you're over here and what you've been talking about?
Well, I've been here because we've got a Guardian Media Group board meeting here, because the NSA story is still very big in America, and because we've now got a very big American operation, so I come over here quite regularly.
So you've been, with this whole NSA nonsense that's been happening, the Guardian's been the source for Americans who've been wanting to find out what the truth is. Has there been, do you think, a reticence on the part of American newspapers to cover this properly? Is there a fear there, do you think, that the Guardian doesn't have?
No, I think it's had amazing coverage in America. The Washington Post was in on this story early. The New York Times is now, but it's been a very, very big debate in America, in Congress, in the media, in the blogosphere, in academia. It's really a very, very big story, and in most of Europe and in many other parts of the world. So I think the fact that the Guardian has broken it in America has been, I think, a surprise to some American news operations, but it hasn't put them off covering it.
So you've now, you're strengthening your American base. I suppose partly potentially because of this story, but because you're getting more attention from the American public. How are you finding the differences between the UK market and the American market in terms of news?
Well, I mean, we started our big push into America 2 or 3 years ago, because we found a third of our readers were in America, so we had built this readership without doing any marketing. I think there's a great appetite here for international news. What happened 10 years ago was that an awful lot of American news organizations pulled out of the world for all the obvious reasons. It's costly and so on and so forth. So the number of news organizations that are internationally engaged is small, and most people, you can't make sense of your life these days. Your jobs, the security, the environment, without understanding international positions. So I think that's why people are turning to the Guardian.
And you're here at Advertising Week. Is there any reason for appearing at Advertising Week, in terms of marketing, or is it just to talk about the NSA?
We're keenly interested in advertisers, and I think because the Guardian's been in the lead digitally, we're now nudging the New York Times. It's basically the Daily Mail, the New York Times, and the Guardian are the three big players in terms of newspaper and digital operations. And I think the rewards are for those who understand it best. So we're keen to talk to advertisers who themselves are trying to feel their way in the digital world. And I think they're keen on people who are successful. We have an audience of 42 million a month now, and people who are doing creative things. So that's why we're here.
So what do you think the secret is for online that the other papers haven't managed to do? Obviously, paywall could be one issue. What have you done right?
Well, we did it early. We saw social earlier than almost anybody else. We have been really open in our approach, so The Guardian is very open to the views of others. That's a platform for others. In our reporting, we pull together all the things that are happening in this new astonishing world of publishing. So we're not trying to close ourselves off and recreate old business models or old models of journalism. And I think that, it's certainly working editorially, it's certainly working in terms of building an audience. But I think it's also working commercially, because companies realize that's what they want to do too. The rules of the game the rules of the game have changed, and I think we're all feeling our way, but I think they want to be. It's more interesting to feel your way with people who are excited by this and understand it than people who instinctively wish it wasn't happening. It's a sense you get off some of these organisations.
So we're in a venue that's pretty much next door to the New York Times. Do you think they sent any spies when you were talking?
Well, we're working with them. We're working with them on the NSA, the New York Times, great newspaper. But I think the New York Times are slightly surprised that we're breathing down their neck. We've come from nowhere. We've only been a sort of a proper presence, if you like it, in the USA for about 5 years, and we're almost neck and neck with them in the world. So it's competition for them, but competition is usually a good thing.
Alan, thank you so much for your time.
Good to see you.